In this video, we're going to use different loops to check to see if a user entered the correct data type as well as if the value is positive. Flowgorithm does has a built-in check, or it has a routine that automatically checks the data types of the values. However, you do need to check to see if the value is positive by creating a loop, as we will illustrate using Flowgorithm. We're going to concentrate our time and our efforts in the Python because that's what you're going to be using a lot of. Nevertheless, it is important to visualize what is going on. So we're going to take the while loop Flowgorithm to show you how to carry out this process. Because I have to create another loop and I'm going to use the while loop, I'm going to add another variable called wrong data. And in this wrong data, I'm going to initialize it to 1. Okay, I'm going to initialize that to 1. Initialize the variable wrong data to 1. And it's just going to be used to keep track of the values as we enter them in the loop itself. Where should we place this? As soon as we enter how many days will you collect the coins, how many is the variable that we use, we're going to check to see if the target or the ending value is a positive value. Flowgorithm automatically checks the data type, so we don't have to do that. So in the while loop, I'm going to say, while how many is less than a 0, re-enter the value. Just keep going through the loop and re-entering it until it negates the condition, which in this case, if it's less than 0, we have to keep entering until a value that is greater than 0 has been entered. We can also even add 0 because we don't want to enter 0 value. So you could say, while how many is less than or equal to 0. But let's see what it's going to do in this regard. Also, when you go into the loop for the coins, you want the coins or the number of coins collected to be a positive value. We're going to also check to see if coins is less than 0. If it is, re-enter it. And we're going to update that loop control variable that keeps track of how many times an iteration takes place. So these actually are the same with the exception of the condition is different because how many is what we're checking here. And I will go ahead on and add the statement update wrong data loop control variable. That's how we navigate or tell the computer to navigate through each loop. Update loop control variable wrong data. Okay, so let's look at this one more time. Right after how many days we put in our what we call error trapping routine or our loop to see if the value is negative. We're going to do the same thing when we enter the coins. We want to make sure it's a positive value. We do not need to check the data type because Flowgorithm automatically checks that. Okay, so we're going to run the program. How many days will you collect coins? I'm going to put in an A, and it automatically says invalid value. Enter a value of type integer. So it automatically checks that. But I'm going to put in a -1, and it says how many days will you collect coins need to be re-entered. So I'm going to go re-enter that. I'll put in a -5. It will not go any further. Then I'll put in 5 days. enter the number of coins to be collected. Suppose I accidentally put in a B. It says invalid data type. I'll go back and put in a -4. It's going to give me an error message. Re-enter the number of coins collected for day 1. So I'll go back and put in the days that we normally put in there. And it still gives us the information as indicated. The difference is that we use a routine to check to make sure we were entering the right data type. Notice this could not be accomplished easily without a loop construction. We would add a similar algorithm or loop in the for loop version.